Bro. Unajua vile nafurahianga kwa hii show. It's been a while. Kama kawa Mr 90 plus hapa. Donning my ultra football KE unapata. Na niko na ma guest. Very able guests, football enthusiasts. Kuna analyst hapa, kuna fan wa Gor, kuna mtu has given all his life in the game for the past 10 years and so anyway, tutaanza tu hapo juu. Mbakaya ni aje?
Poa sana Lamu. Poa sana. Niko fresh.
Hapo sawa. Leo tuko na guest hata iko kwa hii show by the way. Ano ni aje?
Sana Lamu.
Hapo kwa giza, so msishangae nani
anapiga sura.
Mind. Uko fiti ano?
Mimi niko fiti kabisa.
Leo utaingia job wewe afande.
Niko both job na space. Niko both job na meeting bana we.
Sawa. Tutakuweka sana. Anto unasemaje?
Mimi nimetulia, mimi niko poa. Ni kuboeka tu juu timu yangu haichezi hii weekend.
Acha tutakutolea tu form sahi. Tutakutolea form. But juu wenyewe acha tukishow timu yako haichezi because hii weekend tuko na preliminary rounds za Mozart Cup. Na of course hawa ni wenye ukipata timu yote ya KPL iko hapa, they were not good enough ku qualify direct. Kuanzia
I beg to differ sababu hakuna vile unatuambia we were not good enough and yet tuliparticipate in the last round, tulimaliza top 4 in the last Premier League encounter. So how are we not good enough?
Afande, I'm sorry. Anyway, ukisikia huyo ni mtu wa police juu wako na game. Watu wa police wako na game leo. Wanacheza Veg Pro. Hiyo kwangu ni walkover. But ako hapa mtu wa police. Ni aje mtu wa police ano? Hiyo game unaonaje? Hata as in what's your feel na hiyo game? Ama Mozart. Actually see your game peke. Mozart mzima, the whole thing as fan wa police. Objectives zenyu ni nini?
Kwangu the first place mimi naweza sema objective yetu kama police na hii Mozzart Cup ni go all the way mpaka finali, mpaka kubeba hiyo kikombe, sababu we view that as a way to qualify to the CAF competitions, and if we qualify to the CAF competitions inamaanisha we will strengthen our squad more, and that means that tutakuwa na better season, tutakuwa na better campaign next season. So tataka sana kubeba hiyo kikombe, na again na view kama platform ya showcase our French players. There are players pale kwa team, mtu kama Daniel Musamali tulitoa from AFC Leopards, kuna Patilo Moto, kuna so many players who have not been having minutes kwa the Premier League and wanahitaji ku get minutes. The only way wanaweza get minutes ni through competitions kama hizi Mozzart Cup, hizi cup games, ndo the easiest way to get our players ku get minutes kwa team. Also ni a way ya kutest our new signings. Tumesign kina Sami Onyango, tumesign Chidi, aitwa Rashid Mchelenga, mtu wa kuchelenga watu. Then tumesign pia Danko, tumerudisha Danko from ligi ya Botswana. Is it Botswana? Yes, Gaborone. Is it? I'm not very sure. Lakini hiyo league one.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, kuna our players what get opportunity to showcase what they have before to face arguably our biggest game of the campaign, the game against Gor Mahia, which is coming on the 3rd of February.
So, and
ni a very good platform ya kupatia players wote chances kuona what we can do against that lower ranked opposition according to me.
So leo unaona mnawapiga bao ngapi?
I've never watched that Vegpro team play. Niliona last season walicheza hiyo cup against I think Kariobangi Sharks. And Kariobangi Sharks won nadhani bao 6. I expect nothing less of that. I expect 6 plus goals. Sababu leo sasa ni ile siku ya Taiso kucheza full game sasa.
Kucheza maneno yake.
Hey! Taiso atafanya watu mbaya leo. Again the game will be live. Game itakuwa live.
Is this a match you're going to use as a preparation for the match against Gor in terms of tactics? Because to be honest, looking at the last match against Nzoia, you cannot use same tactics against God. I saw a lot of unpreparedness in a lot of aspects, and if the same attitude will be deployed by these guys in another match, especially for your guys, for a team that can sit back and be a bit more lethal up front, because I think what Nzoia lacked was a bit of sharpness. Mbele, they had 2 chances to take the lead against Police before Police scored, if you noticed. And had that been done, it would have probably been a very different game mentally for the players. But we never got to witness that because they missed the chances. They didn't compose themselves. What if you go... These cup games, as Inanga guarantees. I've seen there's a time hata si karibu tulieliminatiwa. As in, you find these are the type of games yenye. The more it goes 0-0, the more the smaller teams get stronger and stronger. In fact, as it continues wearing on, hapo ndo mnapata mmelimwa red card, na nyinyi ndio the big team, yellow card 2 za upuzi, kajamaa kamepita, Mainga amemvuta shati, next amemswaga chini, red card. Just 2 tackles, they change a whole game. Unapata tactics are in a mess. 80 something minutes, unasikia jamaa amewin pena, ndio analima roof of the net. Sasa ni panic time. Mnapata equalizer maybe 92th minute, but now that takes you to penalties na panic mingi sana.
Actually, hauwezi taka kwenda kwa penalties na lower rank team. In most instances, mimi na experience yangu ya coach ball najuaga tu ukishaenda penalties na team ya ulikuwa na consider lower than you, be sure unapigwa. Penalties tend to favor the smaller team in a competition. Even though mi ujua. So kwenda penalties against a team like Veg Pro itakuwa a very bad thing. Siwezi taka kitu kama hiyo happen.
No, but hizo teams zimezoea hizo tough. Mnaenda kucheza uwanja yenye jamaa wameizoea. They know where the wind blows and can expose the chickens, the rear.
So I get for Police, it's just a way of probably getting a cup this season. For all, the rest of the teams that will participate in this, because of the top flight, near a way of getting a cup and playing continental football. So for Police, I don't think might be the objectives ni different kwa ofisi, but venye tu ano amesema as a fan, he does not expect it to be any less. And then kitu ingine, I also feel like Babu is those coaches that are so good in knockout competitions because the way he set up his team yake ni a competitions, like transition, he sets up very good transition, ma 1-2 mingi, yani fast pace nini. So that kind of game naona ni fiti for competition. Secondly, ukisikia ano akiongea juu ya Taiso, you can see the kind of manpower they have, and of course ukweli ni cup competition, they might not get the kind of competition that they do at the top flight. So they have kama leo ukweli tu venye amekusho Taiso akianza leo anashine, leo anataka kushine dead, so they can go the way, but see how peke there is the likes of Akina Tusker, there's the likes of Bandari. So when the others join, Akina Gor wakijoin sasa kutoka round hiyo ingine, it will be as hard. And of course you need luck. You also need luck with the draws. Who you meet in the other, when you proceed, who you meet also matters.
I think the draws ni same, ni dates tu za kucheza ndio tofauti. Dates ndio tofauti. But it's the same. What are round of 32?
Round of 64. After this game tuna meet Posta Rangers. Either Posta Rangers ama hiyo team wanacheza nao, but I don't believe your team Posta Rangers wanacheza nao inaweza piga Posta, so we are meeting Posta Rangers after this game.
You're meeting a Kenless Posta Rangers. But we are getting to that.
Unajua by the way, Lamo, kitu inanishangaza ni yani kusikia Taiso ati hii ndio game yake ya kucheza full 90. Sisi wote tuli
Taiso ni fringe player.
Ati sasa Taiso ni fringe player. Season ikianza nobody expected Taiso kuwa ati a fringe player. Sasa ati yeye ni fringe player. Alafu ukiangalia hasa bado wana sign former Gor Mahia players. Sijui shida yao ni nini? Sijui wanataka kufanya nini na kusign former Gor Mahia players. Sijui hiyo ndo wanaona hiyo ndo the easiest way to success, but wacha tuone vile kutaenda.
Anto, in the first place, kila team in Kenya, each and every team in Kenya sahi iko na former Kariobangi Sharks player. Does it mean that wafai kuteta that mna sign for their former players?
Mimi semi hivyo. How many former Gor Mahia players mko nao kwa team?
Are they only former Gor Mahia players? Si wako na team zingine walichezea? Ama walichezea tu Gor pekee maisha yao yote?
Malisa
you want them to give you the success they gave to our team. Like
Actually, makes a valid point. Those players were not purely
Gor Mahia players.
They started.
Yes, but most of them played together at God. Most of them played together at God. Ndio. Together at God. Wote venye wako hivyo. So huwezi niambia party ati unasema ati they started somewhere. Of course they started somewhere. But wote walichezea Gor at the same time. Na kenye tunajua ni hawa wase wanataka ile success they brought to our club. Wanadhani itawafollow. Hawajui their years have gone. Au si the same players wenye walikuwa hiyo time wakichezea Gor. But anyways, vile umesema, they started somewhere. Najua mtakataa but ni sawa.
Anto, naweza kujibu about Taiso. Mimi si attribute Taiso kuwa bench most of the time ati ni sababu yake. Mimi attribute that to the rest of the players anacheza nao hapo Police FC. You look at his IQ, his movements on the ball. The only person anaweza coordinate naye kwa hiyo team ni arguably Francis Kahata. Huyo ndo mtu IQ almost zinatoshana ama kitu kama hiyo. You look at all other players, anataka tupige 1-2 tukienda, mtu anashika bola na control ball 3 hours, opponent ashafika. How will he play? And yet nobody's even unawatching game. Mpaka ulikuwa kwa the last game ya Police FC, uliona sasa ile Taiso aliingia and the kind of strikers we were having in the pitch. Ulikuwa unaona anajaribu kupigia mtu pass, anaona run itakuwa fiti sana, striker bado amesimama. So how do you expect him to play? Na ni kama ako levels above nyinyi ama ako hata he'll not play at Police vizuri sababu
hapo ni players ama ni the coach. Hapo si nda blame the coach. Hapo ni kazi ya coach ku make sure hao players wanaweza cheza pamoja. Kama hawezi, hiyo ni shida, hiyo kazi imemshinda. So mimi na blame coach hapo.
So coach wote watatu tumekuwa nao so far, hakuna yule ameweza kufanya hiyo team icheze pamoja. Hakuna vile unachezesha Kinanga na Taiso bana. Hawezi iviana hata kidogo. Tusidanganyane. Yezi bana, yezi.
Kinanga is a systems player or something, man.
But who recruits players kwa hiyo timu yenyu? Hiyo sasa ni kazi coach, anafaa ajue kama hao players niko nao hizi cheza na Taiso, anatafuta players wanaweza cheza na Taiso. The window is open sasa.
Anto, nikuulize, who recruits players in Kenyan clubs? Wajua unaongea ni kama huko in the reality of Kenya. Who does that for Kenyan clubs?
The coach anapeana recommendation.
You are living in dreamland.
Hata Gor
coach anapeana recommendation. I need such a player. Ama I need a player with such technical abilities. So anapeana jina. Akipeana jina, hiyo jina isipopatikana, anatafuta a similar player with the same qualities. Si ni hivyo?
So my question is McKinsey, coach wenu,
Yes.
Saida mlisign kina Alvin Chicha Ochieng. Mbona alikuwa anaenda akiuliza majina zao na positions wanacheza, if at all yeye ndo alipea recommendation ya the players to sign?
Sasa hizo ni rumors.
Jina yako ni nani na unacheza position gani? If at all alipea recommendation. Bro.
Ulikuwa hapa kumuuliza.
Bro, mimi niko na watu wanakuja gol kila siku.
Anto hiyo tuwezi maliza. Na Anto anataka tu kuchokoza kama fan wa Gor. Anataka tu kubali bila maplayers wa Gor, Police haiwezi cheza game. Hiyo ndo yeye anataka tu hiyo satisfaction kama fan wa Gor. Hiyo mimi ndakupea kama neutral. No haiwezi kupatia. Anajua hao players wa Gor wamerepresent team zingine, which is a fact. Aziz na venye tu amekupatia example, maplayer wa Sharks wako all over the game, all over the league. Watatu sushi na tumepasha Sharks wako huko chini. Mbona wako juu kila player anachezea, so it might never end. So I don't think there are any insights kama Anto weza mtu wa Gor. Sijui kama bado mnataka kushinda hii nini, but muona Gor wanakuanga chini in the cup competition. In the cup competition Gor mnakuanga chini.
This year objective ilikuwa to win all available cups. Na tulishaanza kuwin, ilikuwa tulisha win shield. Tuna ligi bado. So yes, tunataka kuwin kila kitu hii.
Why are you guys laughing sarcastically?
Mbakaya is getting to you.
I just think it's I don't know. It's not like God do. There's a time God were not keen on this trophy because sometimes it was a very elusive trophy. Well, yeah, it was knocked out na team ya Division 2.
GFC 105.
And they not that they fielded a second string team. Well, go make a first team yote kina Kagere kina nani at their peak. So that's what I was saying. Giant killing in these tournaments. There's always one team that giant kills. But I think because of what you said as the hunger, the issue would be nadhani the side that Gor wako, the team that leaves that route will have gone through a lot of pressure because there's a lot of Premier League teams in that side of the qualifiers as compared to this other side of the qualifiers, which has Kina Shabana, Bandari, and Leopards. That one, I think, and this tournament is open, man. You just have to take your chances. I don't think I know we have our own things, but I feel if God compose themselves, they give it the seriousness it deserves, they definitely have a chance to also play it.
Trust ni aje, nasikia umejam. What are your insights about Mozart? Tulikuwa kwa Mozart Cup, and today's and tomorrow's fixture features a few of the top flight teams and their possibility in winning. Of course, usha jam. Your insights ni EP on this cup. Bwana Tross, na vile umeingia na fujo.
Tross amepotea.
Sidhani anatusikia. So, Mbakaya.
Yes.
Are you guys participating? Ama?
Why can't we? You see, all the matches are not on one weekend. That's what you're missing out.
No. Najua hizi ni preliminaries, bro. Of course, hizi ni za hii weekend. Kuna Mozart bado. There are other games coming up.
There's so many matches that are coming up, Lam, and maybe what you lack is the whole fixture. That's what I want to bring up on the screen here. There are so many games. We had several teams that were to start off. Then kuna hizi zenye zinaenda. So kuna phase 1 ni hawa wa leo and kesho. Leopards is in it. It's in it fully. I don't think we failed to participate in these tournaments. we should be the team that has had, if you are to put points per ranking on participation and where we are, every season at least the last few seasons we've always had either semi-final or it's not been a completely bad nini for us. I feel it will be tricky, but as we see the fixtures this zingine, we have tomorrow's fixtures. That is Eldoret Sports Club, Villa versus Mombasa Stars, Marafiki versus Atalanta, Bungoma Stars versus Bandari, Alziza versus Vandavilla. I just feel the strong teams will go through. The team that should be scared is Talanta. I think we could be in for. I think the home teams are usually a big problem in these tournaments. Sana. Especially these small teams. If you're a big team and you go into these tournaments, Bungoma Stars and Bungoma All Stars once knocked out FC Leopards. So I am expecting Bandari to go there very careful. They might win, but they could fight very hard. I think that Bungoma are doing well in the Division 2 standings. They're not badly off. They should not be underrated. Bandari wakiandareta Jama, they can surprise them. They participated also in the Cleo Malala tournament. Now, if I think semis, it was very hard fought. So it's a tough group. It's a tough show, but I think for me here, I see outright wins for Eldoro Sports Club, and I think Eldoro versus Mombasa Stars. I think Mombasa could be stronger, but could head to penalties. You never know. Marafiki versus Atalanta. I want an underdog story here. I just feel Marafiki would be the team, but Atalanta could be using it also as a way to test some of their new signings. This is technically almost like a free friendly match for some of these teams whose main aim is not to win these tournaments. But Marafiki might give a run. Here they're also doing well. They are a team that is well supported. They've been cycling for this. They're in Division 1. Those teams are very tricky. Division 2, yes, Division 2. I see this match going down to the wire. Down to the wire. And with the Talanta having conceded the other day, those fellas will be fancying attacking them bigly. It will be a high scoring game. It will be a high scoring game or a match with a lot of end-to-end stuff. Bungoma Stars, Bandari will win, but I think narrowly, maybe a 1-0 win or a 2-1 win. Very close game. The way Bandari walikuwa taken to Sisals hapo na Sharks, then it would mean if a team composes itself in that final third na mweke numbers kwa hiyo box. Alzizia versus Luanda Villa, penalties.
Yeah, Alziz nimesikia ni team fiti pia.
Inaweza enda penalties. Luanda Villa ni kama watu wa draw sana away from home. I see it going to penalties.
So context yangu ni Eldoret Sport Club.
Shukran. For me, I honestly don't. The only team ya KPN I expect ikuwe na upset ni hiyo Talanta, of which I don't also think so. They might also force it 1-0 or penalties. The rest, they will. Bandari, I expect them to win. Police, I expect them to win. So either way, I expect top flight teams to perform very good in this first round of the fixtures. So yeah, I think on that, unless Anto akona kitu ya ku-add on the MOZZARTBET na kitu kingine. Yes, Anto.
Umesema I think hizi teams zinaitwaje za KPL, hata hiyo Talanta yenye mnadhani mna dismiss, huu ni Kenyatta. Shida imekuwa lately kwa ligi hajakuwa kiperform poa, but mnafahamu kumbuke how Talanta started the season. I think hao ndo walikuwa kuna some point hiyo unbeaten run yao ilikuanga, I think they had lost the fewest matches as compared to other teams apart from Gor. So sidhani kama kutakuwa na upset hivyo sana venye tunafikiria. Maybe kuna tu sidhani Posta Rangers, Kenya Police, Talanta, Bandari this weekend, sioni any upset from those games. I think hizo team zote za ligi zitawin na go through to the round of 16.
Can I add something, Lamu?
Yes.
So ukiangalia, I'll talk about specifically Al-Azizia and Marafiki. For Marafiki, warate ingekuwa like a season ago, I will give Marafiki a chance maybe to beat Talanta FC. Sababu in the last I think one season, Marafiki wamepiga friendly against Gor Mahia huko Kinunga. Ulinzi Stars pia wameenda Kinunga, KCB wameenda Kinunga, and hizo game zote ile game wali lose sana. I think walipiga Gor ama iliisha draw. Walipiga Gor 1-0, walipiga KCB na wakapigwa na Ulinzi hizo friendlies. Ingekuwa one season ago Marafiki wangetanda chance, but sai most of their players walitoka, kuliingia an issue with the management, and most of the good players wakatoka wakaenda to other teams, also the Police Youth FC, sababu Police Youth FC ilichukua mpaka coach wao na ikachukua some of their key players. So I don't think they stand a chance kwa hii game ya Talanta. They will be mercilessly beaten. Also game ya Al-Azizia is a team from my home county. Ni team inacheza county league, so the quality of players there Adosia team is the best vile wanaweza compete against Luanda Villa. So I don't really give them a chance sababu I've watched them play. They are not that big team, ni ati kuna ile hype sababu ya the derby against Black Panthers FC ya hapo Meru tu bado. So the derby ndo imefanya kuwe na a lot of vibe around Al-Azizia, making people think that it's a big team, lakini in real sense it's not that big team ile inaweza sumbua Luanda Villa. Luanda Villa wanacheza NSL na wako na quality players, wako na quality enough ya kunini ya kushinda hata ya kupiga hiyo team vibaya sana. Actually Al-Azizia for context hata ikuwa number 1 kwa county league, ilikuwa I think number 4. So that ni a very strong team. Nile tu hiyo the online hype around it imefanya wakaamua mpaka kuregister kwa hiyo tournament. Thank you Lamu.
Safi. Na tusisahau pia there was a time at the beginning of the season and during the season it was also hard to beat Luanda Villa. Nakumbuka wakijichocha hao na Gor, they were the only 10 team. Unakumbuka hiyo time? So anyway, kuna fixtures zingine anacheki umeka hapa Jumba Kaya, na there is one that has caught my eye, and that is of course Mofa versus KCB, because knowing Mofa and the way iko na tu vijana wako fiti huko, ni game naweza sasa. Shida hizi sijui ni games unaweza, I don't know, hopefully ni game naweza penda kucheck just to see how Mofa operates as a academy. Now of course junior nani Olunga the guy.
Yeah, I think most in these games, the bigger teams in the top leagues usually get to play away in the initial phase. So all the big teams will be away, but I don't expect KCB to struggle against Mofa watawashinda.
Of course.
Yes, Mofa can NSL, but Division 1 NSL. No, Division
1. Actually, kwa last edition ya hii cup bado nadhani Mofa walicheza against KCB na game ilisha with a KCB win 1-0. Siati walikuwa lemewa pia, naweza kumbuka highlights za hiyo game fiti. Mofa pia walikuwa na create chances zao. Na hiyo time hapo wamesign off players wako nao. Wamesign kina Alex Mwalimu from Division 1 side, one of the best strikers I have watched play.
Shivaji yako pale, two-time winner.
They might upset KCB kama last time ilisha 1-0 na ilikuwa a struggle for KCB na ilikuwa under coach Zico, then it might turn out bad for KCB this time round. Si rahisi.
And you know, considering the season imeturn out, unajua pia KCB wamemake so many signings. They would be in the last game, which I think they took for granted against another similar team that looks to be a low block team like Moroni. Only they ended up being a draw. Now you can see this is a cup competition. Na as usual, as we've said, ainanga heshima. This doesn't have any.
Yeah. So but anyway, they're very exciting fixtures. They're very exciting fixtures ahead. But me ya KCB inaweza taka sana hiyo ndafuatilia vizuri. Of course naona kina FC wanacheza University hapo, wanacheza PSC of course. Shabana also there playing nini? Hiyo ni Shalimar. Na Silibwet wanacheza Sofapaka. Hii Silibwet by the Silibwet si naionanga hapo kwa ni NSL ama ni NSL. Au pia lakini Ziko atawakazia bana. Ziko atawakazia deadly. Ziko hapo hiyo ni win for them.
I don't think Silibwet are strong, but let me just saying, these teams that are in the struggling in the league, these tournaments are usually very dangerous for them to play because huko ndo kuna kwanga na embarrassment. You walk there thinking that you lose it. You know, when you're struggling, you're struggling. Haikujange ati cup itakuwa like a rescue mission. I can tell you for sure in 2018-2019 season when FC Leopards was struggling in the league to mangangana, tulienda tukachapwa na Bungoma, which was just minding its own business because you're at your lowest. And I think as much as Sofapaka can beat those guys, they will really be taken. Itakuwa like a walk in the park. Now you're torn between playing your strongest players and now trying to give the new signings and other people a chance to play. Now, this is the biggest challenge that you have already of a weak team. You're trying to strengthen and then unaongeza pressure. And you see this Shalimar giving Shabana a serious run. Game isha almost 1-0 ama wataanza kufungwa. And these two teams, they tend to score. Wakiwafunga first half, ole wenu. The other, I think last season, Tusker ilifungwa faster. Ilibidi sijui amefunga mabao last minute huko. So good games, but there'll be surprises hapa lazima tu.
Shukran sana. You're talking about strengthening teams, of course. Now I wanted kuna some stories before we move to AFCON. There were some stories I was seeing on the transfer market. For example, of course, I don't know if you can give an insight on this. But nilikuwa naona Ken finally amefika FC. I don't know how true that is. But if he has made that move. Maze, of course. Naona Denmark wanacheza hapa na Gor. Ulinzi, Harvest Hope. Nyamira, of course. Nyamira Superstar Eagles FC with Sharks. The same. I believe in these fixtures, it's the same outcome. Top KPL teams will definitely qualify. I don't see any upset. Of course, ball ni iko na 3 results and cup competition ni 2 results. Either you qualify or you draw. You lose rather. You qualify or lose. So then I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't see any upsets. Hata for Sharks, I don't see any upsets. I don't see Gor tusahau. Sharks unless watolewe mapena. So anyway, back to your story, Bakaya. How true is this story ya nani bana? Ya Ken move from Posta to FC? Umeshinda ukipa sana by the way.
For me, I just think that we needed to strengthen the defense, and signing a player of Ken's caliber is something that I would want the club to do unapologetically. I would want Ken, a defender of Ken's quality, because Ken Panyamifika, it's experience. Sasa ni mtu wa kucheza ball ya kazi. Focused football. Sile mcheze hapo nyuma yenye maybe he would want to to toy around and do certain things. He's at the peak of his career. It's time for him to get the best club, to give himself a chance to succeed. And you see, yes, when he was at Gor Mahia back then, we've had those scenarios where when God has a challenge with handling young players. God has a challenge with handling young players. So now, but most of the young players tend to get slightly frustrated and leave. And it's entirely one of the reasons why you find the link between FC Leopards going for somebody like Ken, because we've struggled at the back. I think, in case of an injury, we will be very thin, absolutely thin. So our thinking is, for me, I think I've admired Ken's leadership at the moment, and if we can have him at the club for this period to ensure that he can bring in his experience. The other players will need to grow with the current pressure that is existing. It wouldn't be very fair to keep putting them under siege. And Ken is coming from a club that was doing well in the league. We don't know how long they would have sustained that, but his impact was clear. His influence in the team. So basically, for me, I've been a positive talk of him. If I look at the league, the two or so defenders that I had interest, I would have loved them to join Leopards, Eshihanda, and then you give me Ken. I would easily have gone for both, but unfortunately, we couldn't get both. We wanted both, but we couldn't get both. So we have had to get one, and Ken is available. Eshianda's contract situation was a bit tricky, and we couldn't land him. So for me, I'm okay. There are photos that have emerged of Ken training with the FC Leopards, and I think that's very positive news. There was a meeting early in the week when we had an uproar as fans that the club was not making any progress in their signings, in getting things done, and what we did was we saw the club react. The patron came out very fully, and the team, the office, and a section of the fan representatives met, and they clearly resolved to finalize these deals. Get a defender in, get strikers in, and we've had progress. We've had progress. So if Ken is joining, there's confirmation of the young striker Koloti. Of course, the biggest loss which we felt was happening was the loss of the young striker Mark Shaban to Gor Mahia, and a video emerged of the chairman making fun or poking fun at he has a small body and the like. So kitu kama hiyo haikuleta shangwe, but for me, Ken Owino joining Leopards is a very good signing to push the season. We're in the running. We need a stronger defense. Bakari has also been playing with some injuries, so it would be good to get that depth in there.
Chukran. Of course, I know. Of course, any team that would get Ken is a huge boost to the defense. He's a very good defender. He's outstanding. He towers over top defenders, like top strikers. Akikaa pale uko confident. But unadhani ataleta nini hiyo FC
First of all, if you look at the first 14 games for FC Leopards, they were conceding a goal a game. Ilikuwa 14 games played, 14 goals conceded. That's a goal a game. And it's not a good start for a team of the caliber of AFC Leopards. So they needed solidity in the defense. They needed leadership in that defense. Yes, you have Casey Odhiambo, who is a very good defender. You have Randy, who is a very good defender also. But then maybe probably they lack the leadership aspect of the game. They lack someone. They lack someone to tell them how to position themselves. You see, Ken playing at Posta Rangers, he was very heavy on that. Directing defenders on what to do, motivating the team when all is not well, tackling with a passion. Like in a game against Sofapaka, the Katarania, he tackled Fiston Abdul Razak, and ule mwenye Sofapaka alikuwa anaambia Abdul, ingia hapo, pigia hapo. Ken tackled the guy and asked nini Kaleko, aingia wapi bana? And the passion in him makes me love his style of play. Also, he's a good game reader and very effective on the aerial balls. Atasaidia PFC kufunga hizo set pieces, hizo corners and everything because of his height and his heading ability. So he's a complete package that AFC Leopards are getting, and I just hope when he makes a mistake, these AFC fans will not start calling him Anyol. Because it has been a norm against for them. If any person from the Luo land makes a mistake and maybe they consider goal, they'll start saying that anawapeana ama kitu kama hiyo. So I just hope it will not happen this time around.
I beg to interrupt that kind of assertion, because it doesn't make sense. I mean, for me, our fans criticize players equally. End to end.
Opio gets like Opio pia anakuanga nini wewe. Opio
yes, depends.
There are some players who receive. Kuna players who receive unnecessary nini criticism, I swear.
No, but you guys, the thing is, if fans demand a better performance, or for instance, these scenarios where Opio is conceding a goal every game, and fans are saying, "Come on, we were supposed to win this game. You let the opponent back in the game because of your blunder." The fans are right to demand the 3 points because the keeper was at the center of that particular error. And I think one of the biggest games in Ileta history, which initially maybe it was being downplayed, was when FC Leopards was leading against Gor, Kuna Derby. And Opio was given a very harmless back pass, akafumble nayo, and then Gor equalized from that back pass. And people are like, you have to make a decision whether you want to play for Leopards or you're playing for God. And since then, he's become a better player because he took the criticism positively. And some players need that. Some players just need that particular push. And I think nobody's handling some players with the golden gloves. People like Casey.
Anto, acha niulize Anto.
Swali yangu ni kidogo tu before uende. Swali yangu ni why criticize player based on amezaliwa wapi? Mbona usi criticize player by saying umefanya blunder, umetucost game?
Are you mad? Are you not understanding the history of these teams? No. Are you not really? You see, it's not something that you're even supposed to ask. The history of the FC Leopards is that it's a Baluya football club. Gor Mahia and Reunion are teams zenye ziko best with the grounds in the Luo nation. And FC Leopards, until Zangi Okello crossed over and started playing for us, and until also Kinashikanda will cross, it was unfounded to have, and Obuaka, I think when Obuaka went to play for Gor, it's that loyalty, that communal loyalty was there. So as a player, if you're a player who is a player of Luo nation, if you're playing for FC Leopards, the attention will be on you. Woe unto you if you're the goalkeeper. Woe unto you if you're the defender, or if you're the striker supposed to score. Do you think people are happy when Maxwell Otieno scored the winning goal for FC Leopards against Gor Mahia? I'm sure he's got a lot of stick behind the scenes. People are saying, why? Why would you do that? And these are the things that make football exciting. The DNA of a team. And you can clearly see how Gor have worked around their DNA. Na saizi ukiangalia lineup yao, it shows.
Anto.
But I'll give you a history. Let me give this guy history. FC Leopards was unbeaten in a lot of continental games and even Sekafa. I think continental for a long time, and even Sekafa at home, especially at home, until Matthew Otamax lost in 1997. He made a blunder and a game to lose. He was highly criticized. He was a young keeper then, but the next season he was very influential in ensuring that we won that league title, and which has become very iconic to the at the moment, because we've not lifted a league title in a long time. So I know you have to accept that the dynamics and the structure of Leopards and Gor is different than all the other clubs. These clubs in you can take all you can say, oh, ni mchezaji. Sisi, we don't look at that. I will say huyu ni hivi, Gor Shakava akimake blunder, oh finally Musambo imeingia. These things are there. Hebu nitotea bwana.
Anto nasikia wamekosa Gor. Nataka usummarize tu hii shughuli. Juu hatutamaliza hii discussion. But do you feel hiyo ni kitu inakwanga, it's an aspect in the FC team mali wajaka wakifanya tu noma? Ama we uko tu sawa?
But no, Lamo, I will not accept you guys say that, because if there's a team that has
opinion,
had more
opinion.
It's the way you guys are painting it. It is so negative. Yet ukiangalia lineup AFC in the last so many years, si tumeproduce players wa academy wajaka wangapi wamepitia mikono yetu?
Wengi wako.
Oburu, in the last few years, hata Austin mwenye anachezea, he's been a product of the knee. So for you to come and say that Leopards fans have usually vilified, you know the way you're painting it is completely wrong. What you can ask is the community aspect when it comes to viewing errors for the two teams. That is a fair question. Lakini your question, akisema FC Leopards fans who hunt down wajaka ama kitu kama hiyo, I'm not accepting that approach. Hiyo nayo is a wrong way of putting it.
So, Lamo ukiona venye Mbakaya amesema, si ati necessarily ati hunting Luo players ama nini. Yeah. Ni ile the passion that the community has. Amekuambia tu hapo AFC Leopard ni Abaluya Football Club. Kitambo ulikuwa unasikia mchezaji ni Mluya, ametoka AFC ameendea Gor, nyumba yake inachoma huko Ushago. So hiyo ndio the passion that those people have. Hata huku Gor unasikia hivyo. Mtu akitoka Gor ameenda AFC, unapata wasao wameenda kwao, wameenda kuuliza wazazi wao ni kwa nini. So siwezi sema ati ni wana vilify the Luo players, ni ile the passion that those people have. Unaona ku lose game ndio ukikumbuka space yenye nilikuwa naongea ya Tuesday, nasikia mafans wa Tusker naye waliniingilia na Dizo. Niliwaambia at half time nilienda side ya Tusker, kapatana nao mafans. Kuna fan mwenye unaongea naye unaona huyu ni mseto amekaa mtu kujibamba, hakuna uchungu yote anasikia kwa roho yake. But kuna wale fans wa Tusker unaongea nao unaona manzee anaongea vile game imekuwa, yani kuna kauchungu fulani yenye anasikia. Wengine wanasema hata hiyo iko free kick, hiyo nayo iko free kick. Unaona hiyo ni uchungu, unajua ni fan. But kuna wale wakukam hakuna kitu yote anasikia. Yeye bora alifika Macha, venye alikuwa facilitated hiyo si hatujui. Yeye bora alifika Macha na tarudishwa Nairobi. So unaona vitu kaa hizo. So unaona mseka mimi, unaona kaa Dizo alikuwa anasema ati vile Tusker ni poa, ati wana facilitate fans vitu kaa hizo waenda waone game. Anasema ati club yetu iwezi fanya hivyo. Sisi wenyewe hatuja complain tukue facilitated. Si tuko sawa. Sisi bora tunaenda game, tuna watch team yetu, tuna buy tiko. Na niliambia Dizo, mimi kama fan, kazi yangu ni kubuy merchandise ya team, kazi yangu ni kubuy tiko ya team, na kazi yangu ni kwenda kupiga kelele kwa grao. Hizo vitu tatu. Na kuregister as a member kwa club. Hizo ni vitu zenye mimi kama fan nafanya. So unajua ukikuja unaanza kuniambia hii timu yenye iweze kuwa facilitate. Hiyo ni role moja yangu ndakuwa nimeachia, nimepe club inifanyie. Unaona? So unaona if you can facilitate to go to a game, alafu uone player ana make blunder, lazima emotions zitapanda na lazima utamcriticize. Unaona sasa vitu kaa hizo ndo unapata hizi club zingine hazina. Hiyo ndo sasa unaona unapata mseme kao pia aki-make blunder kwa derby. Lazimanga hizo vitu zikaa. But unapata ni hiyo siku tu ya derby pekee watamcriticize. The next day watu wako sawa. Wakumbuki ati Opio alimake blunder kwa derby. Opio na life inaendelea. So hatuwezi sema hiyo ni kazi ya fans. Hiyo ni Kenya naweza sema. Hapo naye kinambakaya wako wrong kufanya kitu kama hiyo.
Hiyo ni ukweli. Tuko na 10 minutes my guys. Tunataka to shift focus to continental. AFCON iko stage nyingine. Wakikuyu wanasemanga negodhie. Tuko pale round of 16. Na kuna watu walikuwa na feel Ivory Coast wamebebwa, Ivory Coast wamefixiwa, Ivory Coast bla bla, na kuna watu team zao zilienda, watu wa Algeria, watu wa Tunisia, watu wa nini, you know, there were very huge disappointments. So anyway, we are round of 16, game za kwanza ni leo, so ndawasomea tu round of 16 inakaaje na tuingie hiyo discussion. So round of 16 inakaa hivi: Angola are playing Namibia today. Then they're playing at 8. Then Nigeria are facing Cameroon. Na Abubakar amerudi, sijui itakuaje.
Na Clinton Njie.
Ati?
Clinton Njie is also back for Cameroon.
Tuna get bass ndo hizo. Hebu andika hapo notes. Usisahau hiyo story. Equatorial Guinea are playing the other Guinea. Egypt wali survive, are playing DRC Congo. Cape Verde, the most shocker of the whole competition. Cape Verde are playing Mauritania. Then, of course, the host Ivory Coast. And Mali are facing Burkina Faso. And lastly, Morocco versus South Africa. Even when you're round of 16 in a car. So today we have 2 fixtures. Kesho 2 fixtures. On 29th, 2 fixtures. Alafu 30th. Tunamaliza round of 16. Tuanze na hapo ano mbio mbaya. Unasemaje? What are your insights? Tuko na 9 minutes so far. So mkae mkijua tunaenda kuona Cabras.
So game ya leo ndaongea about Cameroon versus
Nigeria. Nigeria versus Cameroon.
Ukiangalia how Nigeria have been playing in the last 3 games. They are a team that don't concede too many goals and also don't score too many goals. They have barely survived through the group stages. Cameroon pia wamekuwa na share of their own problems. Cameroon wali win the first game. Win ama draw? Think draw. The first game. No, they lost the second game.
Yeah, they drew the first game.
They won the first.
I think they won the first game and then lost the second against Senegal and then won the third. No. Actually,
no bro.
Walimaliza na point 3 kwa group.
Ni unaongelea Cameroon gani ya hii tournament?
Unaongelea Cameroon kwanza na unaongelea Nigeria.
Mimi naongelea Cameroon sasa sahi. Cameroon the biggest problem with them imekuwa mainly the inability to score goals. And that raise a lot of questions in me.
Cameroon drew the first game against Guinea 1-1. Lost the second game
3-1 against Senegal.
And then won the game against Gambia 2-3.
Exactly. Now, you see Cameroon wamekuwa na inability ya hapo final third, wamekuwa na a lot of problems. The scoring of the goals imekuwa, yes, unaweza ona game against Zambia they won 3-2, meaning this is Zambia, I don't remember that. They won the last game 3-2. Inaweza kaa ni kama wanajua kufunga mabao sana, but if you look the kind of goals scored, hazikuwa the best of the goals. So the return of both Vincent Abubakar, who is arguably their best striker, and Clinton Njie will italeta another dimension to their goal scoring ability. Also, Mimi, I fail to understand why the coach will leave out the Bayern Munich guy, Itagwaje Choupo-Moting. Yeah, he could have
Chipo fell out with the coach and the management. Discipline issues. I think we tend to protect these guys sana. But let me not digress.
Mimi kuna point inafikaga wise easy falling out za coaches na players as if I kuinda the progress of a nation's football. Mimi you can't keep falling out each and every other player. Nani coach wa Cameroon alikuwa fall out na nani na Onana fall out na
Yes, at the end of the day, coach lose hiyo grip yake as a coach. He is no longer fit to be in that team or that club. Coach anafaa kuwe the final. Na he has been trusted by the federations to be the yeni kama yendo nini wa management na team. So akiamua ameamua. Kama ni fallout plus you're choosing 25 players. One man haiwezi kuwa issue unless ni Messi ukweli. Unless ni Messi. But as in bro, you're not Messi. So kukiwa na fallout songa, discipline lazima kuwa na discipline. Talent without discipline ni bure. Angalia Balotelli. Talent discipline kila mahali bro. You need discipline everywhere. Siwezi compromise discipline.
Mina feel the reason as to why our top players wana fallout na Rigobert ni hawamtambui kama top coach. I swear the same players awange fallout na some other coach, some other elite coach. Rigobert to me is just someone who is trying na wataangusha tu hiyo team.
Ano.
Yes.
They did. Remember when the last win for Cameroon in
Cameroon, I remember.
This whole squad was wengi walikataa kutokea, and the coach Hugo Bruce saizi was left to play with the young guys. Hao watoto wadogo ndio walishinda na so for me most of these players when they reach a certain age they start to balance. Do I need the national team? Do I need the club? And with this ability to technically call off some retire or what to do, they spark unnecessary beef with the coach. Ukijua utaki kuanza kuitwa. So they create beef, knowing very well it works for them. And I think it's well choreographed even at club level. And some of the clubs are very much involved in this.
United and Onana. Tuseme tu hivyo.
Na predict Cameroon itawin leo.
Possibility, yes. Nigeria wamekuwa chini nini wamekuwa
chini. The last time that Cameroon and Nigeria met in 2002, it was Nigeria who knocked out was it 2002 or 4? It was Nigeria who knocked out Cameroon 2-0.
Yes,
your team was star-studded. Yes, It was a star-studded team.
Yes, I remember. Kwanza na hiyo nini yao ilikuwa inakaya ya kuenda gym, hiyo jazi ya. Anto, unaonaje hii AFCON? Kwanza uko na timu gani?
Mimi niko Cameroon.
Kumbe tunaongea timu yako hapa. Hata tungeacha uongee.
Liko Cameroon na Senegal, but unajua venye the tournament ikianza nikaona Vincent yuko hapo, naye nilikuwa na hofu kiasi. Juu ukiangalia the last tournament Vincent amekuwa nikaa savior, anafunganga some last minute goals zenye zinapeleka Cameroon to the next level. Ukiangalia hata in the World Cup venye performance yake, by the way, kwanza ile bao yenye alifunga against hii ni team gani? Against against Brazil. Against Brazil ilikuwa bao ingine tamu sana. So but vile niliona Vincent yuko, niliona hii team inaweza struggle. But kitu moja about hii AFCON, nakumbuka tukipeana hapa ma prediction tukianza, before ianze, I think hakuna msee yote alipea hizi ma small nations a chance. Ukiangalia Mauritania,
mimi.
Serious? Kuna ukiangalia
jirani alienda.
Naye sisi wote hatukumpe chance. Hiyo naye tulijua. but ukiangalia timu kaa Cape Verde, hatuwezi sema Cape Verde, ndio Cape Verde ni a small nation, but footballing wise tumeona kuna ka progress fulani yenye wamekuwa ikipanda nao, so hatuwezi sema hao wamekuwa ni small as such, but kuna ka progression fulani yenye wanaenda. Alafu the other teams like semeka Tunisia ni timu yenye mimi siku expect watoke around the group stages, because ukiangalia continental football in Africa, teams zao lazimanga zifike ziusonga mbali sana. Ukiangalia experience lazimanga ifike semis huko, hizo malata stages za Champions League. Ukiangalia Confed lazima upate timu yao iko hizo malata stages. Ukiangalia Morocco naye kila mtu alipe chance because Kenya walifanya kwa World Cup. Alafu ukiangalia Wydad Casablanca, ukiangalia in the last like tuseme 10 years, Wydad Casablanca inakuanga always iko kwa Champions League hizo latter stages. Ukiangalia sometimes Raja inakam pia hiyo inacheza poa. Ukiangalia Confed pia wako sawa. So mi najua nilikuwa na base, ukiangalia timu yenye zina perform sana, I think continentally zina perform, their clubs are performing, but zile teams zenye clubs zao ziperform kwa continent unapata zina struggle kiasi. Ukiangalia SA pia I think well Amondo uliwape chance, na kumnaweza kumbuka uliwape chance because of sijui reason yako, ulisema naye wanachezanga ball, but mi nikiangalia SA naonanga nikati ni Mamelodi ndio timu yote. I think they are back 5 kwa the last game walicheza, kila player alikuwa wa Mamelodi Sundowns. So unaona ukipata timu kaa hiyo yenye iko na players wengi wa from one team na they are performing well in the continent, au ndio inaitwaje hii Super Cup waliwin, au ndio winners. So I think inaweza wasaidia, but kupita hapa si wanacheza against SA wanacheza against tu hii round of 6 against Morocco.
Wako nje.
Hatuwezi sema wako nje. Ukiangalia the last few years battles za Mamelodi Sundowns na Wydad Casablanca, they always meet the semi final level ya Champions League, na unapatanga Wydad iko na a little bit edge on Sundowns. Hiyo ndio timu yenye imekuwa ikisumbuanga Sundowns sana kwa hii competition, but ukiangalia the last time walimeet Sundowns iliwin. So ndio ni ngumu sana for SA, but I think Morocco will win hiyo game.
There is no easy match in this tournament.
It is not easy, but I think Morocco will win. Sina mabao mingi, 1-0 ama 2-1. Juu ukiangalia magame za SA zimekuwa na mabao. Senegal versus Senegal. Ukiangalia Ivory Coast has conceded mabao mingi sana. Sidhani kama wataezana na Senegal. I think the two most strongest team kwa hii tournament ni Morocco and Senegal, na hizo team mbili zitago far kwa hii tournament. They might reach the finals au wote wawili. So Senegal itapiga Ivory Coast.
Mbakaya.
Yes.
Before Mbakaya uongee, kuna anonymous ametujoin hapa. Sijui bado ni Tross.
Ni Dizo.
ni Buda, kwani uoni ni venye?
Sioni.
Ni venye na mix up na vitu zingine, sasa siwezi weka video.
Sasa basi siwezi ona. Ni sawa. Tuko kwa AFCON, lakini
na enjoy hiyo toka aje.
Ni sawa. So unatupea 1 2 3 ama unaendelea ku mix up we DJ? Una DJ wapi?
Namaliza shughuli tu hapa niingie niwapatie. Lakini wacha nisikizane.
Ina noma. Mbakaya, you saying something before DJ?
Yeah. Now I was just saying the Morocco, the way the path is, Morocco and Senegal could easily meet in the final if they progress. But I think Egypt na Senegal ndio wanaweza patana before hiyo final, which is one of the prediction kwa nimekuwa nayo. I had not anticipated the hosts to perform dismally, because nilikuwa nimeweka either kwa finalists wao na either Senegal versus Ivory Coast versus Senegal or Egypt at the final. I didn't have so much in Morocco, but I think vile vitu zina unfold hapa, Morocco have a chance to push. But going by the way they played against DRC, and this is sasa pia Ziyech amekuwa not nani amekuwa overworked. By the way, he's played all the 3 games. Even the last game he played 90 minutes plus. He didn't rest. So I know that is not something to be taken lightly. Your fatigue itakuwa. And should they meet a team like Cape Verde who don't fear attacking, this guy just keep running at you and running at you if they advance. But if South Africa do what they did against Mali in the first half, then they're danger. They can untake their chances. Then they have a chance in the game. But I think they managed the last match very well, and they were better in that particular game. So tough games coming up. It will be tactical. One team and another ni imekuwa underrated sana ni Mali, and I just see them maybe reaching the quarters again in this case.
No. Umesikia Mbakaya kwanza ametouch on Mali. By the way, Mali has been underrated, hata tujaiongelelea sana. Na ametouch on Mali reaching the quarterfinal. There's a possibility that Mali might face Senegal if Senegal bana, mbona unaniwekea manini hapo bana? Mbona unaniwekea fireworks bana pia wewe? Oh, sawa. So there's a possibility that Mali might face either Senegal or Ivory Coast in the quarterfinal if Mali watapiga Burkina Faso. So in that case, no, tuseme Mali wapatane na Senegal hapo quarterfinals. Unaona nani anakaa kufika semi? Nani anakaa those are very strong teams. Yes, Senegal ni favorites, but Mali.
So first of all, hata nianze na kusema that Mali is my favorite team. It has been my favorite team toka 2017. Right from when I watched the under 17 team play Brazil in the under 17 World Cup third place playoffs. They lost to Brazil 2-0 in 2017. England went on to win the title, and those boys from England are the same boys who won England the Euro under 21 last year. So Mali has been my favorite team since then. Sababu ya their development of young kids, their participation in these underage tournaments, wameishi kunibamba juu hiyo. So one thing about Mali ni their physicality. Right from under 17 ukiangalia games out, they are full of running. They don't tire at any point. Ukiangalia hata the games they have played in the AFCON this year, utaona tu they are physically ahead of the rest. The game against South Africa utaona mili zao ni bigi na bado wako na football IQ, wanaweza outrun team na bado wanaweza wapigia pass. One thing I don't love about Mali at this AFCON the continued use of three defensive midfielders by the coach. He keeps on using Aidara, Bissouma and Aliou Dieng. To me, that offers nothing going forward. It offers solidity in the defense, but then going forward inakuwa a big problem. Also, I think he's insisting on using the 3 DMs sababu ya ukiangalia in the games they have not used the 3 of them, wame struggle in the initial stages. The DRC game wali struggle a little bit sababu hakutumia the 3 defensive midfielders. So I think tukipiga Mauritania tutapiga Mauritania like kuna team haiwezi nishtua bana. Tukipiga Mauritania, the game against Senegal will be a very good game sababu ukiangalia pia Senegal they are physically fit, wako mili zao ni fiti bado, and wanaweza give Mali a run for their money in terms of kukimbia and everything. I foresee a game where Mali will still use the 3 defensive midfielders sababu if you let that Lamine Camara guy from Senegal dominate you in those spaces, itakuwa a little bit hard for you to win. the game will probably end in a 1-1 and ita decide on a penalties ama extra time. That's the best that Senegal can do in that game. Kutupeleka extra time.
Shukran sana. Umeongea kwanza Haidara nikakumbuka vile nilikuwa nataka umsea kuja United. Like when before time ya kina Zakari to Juventus to Zakari kutoka Juventus. He was such a very good player by the way. Ni wa kukaza, ni wa kufika. He's like a Kante. Na he's technically good. Me by this sioni venye because I understand yes they are all central defensive midfielders. But they are very high technical. Like unaweza waeka yes in different roles. Like ukiweka CDM uweke huyu mwingine yes when is CDM but play a different role of midfield. Na huyu mwingine the same because I believe they play midfield of 3. So they can still have different because Haidara anaweza kaza, anaweza pass, anaweza carry ball. He is also a very good ball carrier. You get? So he's not just limited with the defensive side. Offensively so is also good. Na of course the ball ya leo inataka watu wachoki. Haitaki watu kama mimi wa kupigwa sub kila idhaa. Inataka watu
dakika moja.
Inataka watu wanakimbia like ball demands a ball ya leo ni mob sana, ni mingi sana na ni physically draining. So I don't see because I see it as a strength for them. Kwanza versus a team like Senegal. Unajua Senegal ni timu ya kupanga tukienda. They are very 1-2 zao ni intricate, ni one time na ni direct, ni kutoka ile pitch to ile pitch nyingine. So they might need those players for hizo play breakers nini people wa cut those passes, half pass hizo overload. Pia Senegal ni team ya create a lot of overloads. Na overload unajua inataka midfielders kwanza hiyo midfield have to cover a lot of ground. So mimi naona ni plus na ni kitu inaweza work in their nini. They might actually surprise them. I understand mimi msewa Senegal but tunaweza pigwa surprise si ati nini. Tunaweza pigwa surprise juu hata hii game ya Senegal ya juzi tukishinda 3-0 ama nini. Ilikuwa finishing ya hiyo timu nyingine ilikuwa chini. Na of course Mendy kuna tani nyingine mzee alipiga scissor kick na Mendy akasave. At that point you were 2-0 up. Na those goals were late. So see ati Senegal wame shut down completely. No, I feel the opponents they have faced up until now have been so wasteful in front of goal. So with Mali Mozi cheza hivyo pia wale ni their top players. So actually but I expect fireworks. Mbakaya na understand bolo ni yake hapo. Hiyo game ni fireworks.
Lamu kidogo. Yes. The biggest problem Mali wako nayo, mimi siamini hao players sababu wanacheza with the front two. Siamini hao players wawili wanacheza hapo mbele. One looks very heavy and the other one looks very sidhani wanaweza tufungia mabao against Senegal. That's my biggest problem. Itakuwa yes tutacheza game fiti but unajua mbona anasema hii game itaenda mpaka mapena. Tunaweza kuwa tume sana, tumekuwa compact for game lakini sasa sisi kufunga mabao it's a hard task. Yes tulifunga 3 against South Africa but ukiangalizo 2 against South Africa but ukiangalizo about tuliuza so many chances zile tulifaa kuconvert na ni make sense. We should look at probably getting a striker. After a good striker yule akipata half chance tu hivi ana convert. Hivyo tu. Hiyo ndo tu inaweza kusaidia.
Sasa uba yako bro tuko transfer window ndo na hata pia iko na hakuna transfer. All you see
develop a striker. Mimi sisemi mimi naangalia future bana. Develop a striker.
Sawa bro. I think Davy umemaliza kumix. Utupatie tunataka kupiga our final predictions. Nasikia tu watu wanasema timu zao. Tunataka kupiga final predictions watu waanze kuprepare kuingia Strath. Kuna game ya Strath na Cabras ya rugby pale. Davy amata ameenda.
Davy yuko.
Olamide is
perform. Sawa basi haya your final predictions unipatie top scorer, unipatie your favorite to win. tukifunga. Anto, ndaanza na wewe. Anto, wewe na hiyo timu yako hapo Cameroon. Bakari wako amerudi. Ati Bakari. Nani amerudi? Vincent
amerudi, but I think ukiangalia in the last tournament scrap tu wins tu na wakisonga. Ile tu kuscrap the wins na tukisonga. So but winning the tournament, sioni Cameroon ikiwin the tournament. I think the favorite ni Senegal, au ndio bado will retain the trophy. And top scorer itakuwa ngumu. Si top scorer anaitwa nani?
Akina Ivory Coast wamepeana hapa mabao juzi, watu wamepiga bao mingi sana. Anyway,
alifunga bao mbili in that game, na alifunga in the first kuna game alifunga hat-trick. So inaweza enda hivyo, naenda kwa the top scorer because sioni ka
top scorer anaitwa Ensue.
I think he is the oldest player kwa hii tournament.
34 years.
Na is the oldest mwenye amefunga hat-trick.
Is the oldest player to score an hat-trick. See the oldest player in the tournament. Kuna older players in the tournament like that.
Is the oldest mwenye amefunga hat-trick, but I think sioni kama he will score another goal against Guinea. Hiyo ni obvious. He might score, but I think he will be the top scorer. Sidhani ka kuna mwenye atapitisha the most goals zenye msa atafunga, itakuwa at most 7 goals. Sioni mtu akipita 7 goals. So na yeye ndo atakuwa the top scorer. Sioni mtu akipita. For mwenye ata win, Senegal will win this cup. Kama Morocco, hata Morocco maybe wanaweza kuwa na other ideas, but it is for Senegal to lose.
Mbakaya, to you.
I think the die has been cast. It's now it's in the business end of things. Hapa kuna kubembelezana. I don't know. For me, I've looked at this tournament with an open eye. I would want to say I had a favorite team, but then I suddenly realized that Sina. But I'm looking at Morocco suddenly bringing in some form. Ingawa wamesaidiwa na CAF. You see, with the punishment that was being ruled against their coach, those are impacts. Those are big impacts on them in terms of results at some point. So, taking the path yenye iko hapa, it will be a Morocco versus a Senegal final. But should the Mali go through, watasumbua. But for today, I think Nigeria will again fight to maintain some respect because your heshima ni kama iko. But I think Nigeria are defensively solid, and they will definitely give Cameroon wako porous. So it will be a game in can you score? But I think Cameroon are defensively solid. No, sorry, Nigeria are defensively solid. I just think this will be the end of the road for Cameroon. Nigeria will win this one. Probably 1-0 or 2-1, or just I think a very narrow scoreline. 1-0, and then that will be it. The other match between Angola and Namibia will be close, but I think Namibia, if they bring up the A game which they brought recently, and if the players can be a bit more focused now that Hakuna pressure, it will be a match that can be a draw. But seeing a 2-1 win for Angola, they seem to have got the numbers right, especially when it gets to scoring. So Angola to qualify for me, and Nigeria to qualify in the next one. Then Guinea will beat Equatorial Guinea and qualify. Egypt will beat DRC and qualify. Cape Verde will qualify against Mauritania. Senegal will beat Ivory Coast and qualify. And then finally, I see Mali beating Burkina Faso to qualify, and Morocco beating South Africa to qualify. Those are my predictions.
Shukran. I'm not able to summarize hii shughuli watu waanze kuprepare. So yes, apart from your team.
So mimi kwangu, I know Mali will win this tournament. That's for sure. We'll beat any other team on the way. Also, Leo, I predict Cameroon win. Cameroon, the return of Abubakar, it a different perspective to the game in a whole. So sioni vile watapigwa na Nigeria, who have been scoring very few goals in the tournament. I also see Morocco beating South Africa to go through. Senegal will win the round of 16. Yeah, sina hizo fixtures kabisa, but those are my top picks. Mali winning the tournament, Mali winning everything too.
So just to give you some insight, the last 16, of course, Nigeria, Cameroon, then Angola, Namibia, and the winners of those two fixtures will meet in the quarterfinals. Then Cape Verde versus Mauritania, Lafu Morocco versus South Africa. The winner of those two games meet in the quarterfinal. That would be the quarterfinal 2. Then Mali versus Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast versus Senegal, or vice versa. Senegal versus Ivory Coast. The two winners will meet quarterfinal 3. Then Egypt versus Congo, and Equatorial Guinea versus the other Guinea, and the winners of that will comprise of what will be quarterfinal 4. So with that new information, you still have any other insights not to add on?
Mean Kofiti.
Sawa. So anyway, mimi niki-finalize, of course, team yangu hapo Senegal. The reason why I see Senegal, it's a build-up from the last win, and the cohesion as a team. I feel they have better cohesion as a team than the rest. I have seen a few games of them. I have seen how they move as a team, and of course, I admire what Aliou Cisse has been doing for the better part of the last decade on development. Like, he has risen with the team from under 17 kutoka huko ama under 23 all the way. So I admire what he does. Plus, of course, he's a football legend, and in such cases, you'll always wish to see the legends emulate their playing career as you'd love to see their managerial career go as successful as their playing career was, because we were once fans of them. So for me, I am still with Akina Sadio Mane. But of course, I'd love to see a final between Morocco na Senegal. Itakuwa game ingine noma sana. But again, pia game ya Mali na Senegal, hiyo quarter final, itakuwa game ingine noma. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose to Mali, because Mali is also a very good team. Na ukiwa underestimate ndo hivyo. So anyway, thank you so much, guys, for being with me here. Kama kawa, Mr. 90 Plus. Tumecheki kila kitu, and what we have left out, of course, will be covered on the Monday space or the Thursday space or even the Tuesday space with the women's teams. So anyway, Mr. 90 Plus hapa, I'm so thankful na ma comments zimesonga kusonga. Naona icon ndio imekuwa hapo. I think producer wangu aliniambia niache ushamba, niache kuzisoma juu zinatokea kwa screen. So producer, ndafanya tu venye alisema. Naacha ushamba. Naacha kujiexpose. So anyway, thank you so much. Thank you my guests kama kawa, and all the best to your teams. Otherwise maze, tunapatana pale Strath. Tunaenda kucheki game ya Strath na Cabras at 3 PM. Kama kawa, Football KE Fans TV, Mr. 90 Plus. All the best. Have a lovely weekend. I'll see you.
Cheers.
Yeah.